Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is more SCPs. Today, that's right, it's SCP day. And this SCP was, I believe, 6373? Yes, 6373, called Stage Blight. And I chose this one specifically because of its classification, which was Keter, and has been changed to neutralized. Which is, I think this is the first time I've ever seen that. So, yeah, this should be interesting. Let's see what it is. SCP-6373. Oh, also, I gotta say, this is a video by TheVolgun, as per usual, even though this intro is a little bit different. I don't think he's had this in any of the other ones I've seen. But, yeah, in the description, if you don't know what an SCP is, which I wouldn't know why you were here if you didn't, would be a video that explains SCPs, also by TheVolgun, as well as the link to TheVolgun's channel. So yeah, I feel like I keep forgetting to say stuff like that at the beginning, but yeah, let's keep going. So yeah, 6373 Stage Blight, which has been neutralized apparently from a Keter class.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Well, that looks creepy as
My
all
name
fuck.
is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-6373. Containment class, neutralized. Previously Keter.
Are they the creepy ass dolls?
Area 179. Site Director, J. Barrow. Research Head, J. Dune. Assigned Task Force, non-applicable. Special Containment Procedures. The building containing SCP-6373 has been outfitted with a closed-circuit surveillance system and shuttered from public access.
It was an entire fucking
Assigned
building?
personnel are to view
alright.
and transcribe SCP-6373's daily performances. Counseling is available as a part of post-viewing debriefing.
I'm sorry.
Personnel are expected to be repulsed.
What the fuck are they doing? I was thinking, like, are these gonna be like the dolls from like the Santa Claus? Okay, I think they only showed up in one fucking scene on the very first Santa Claus movie. There was the dolls in the room, and they were like smacking each other with bats and shit. Apparently it's a bit more gruesome because some people might need counseling. Okay, let's
Description.
what is this?
SCP-6373 is a collection of 4 papier-mâché puppets,
Mm-hmm.
each 1 meter in height. Chemical analysis
Those are pretty
indicates
big.
each puppet's exterior is constructed from non-anomalous material.
Okay.
All attempts to observe the interior of SCP-6373 through either physical or endoscopic means have failed. All instances
How?
are attached to an individual set of strings bound together by a plastic cross-shaped mechanism intended for control by a puppeteer.
So they're paper-mâché puppets?
SCP-6373 emit a strong rotting odor,
Oh, great.
causing visceral nausea. This response is entirely non-anomalous.
So what, does it contain a corpse inside of it, or what? I guess they never figured that out, because they couldn't look on the inside through physical or endoscopic means, which is weird.
At 1800 hours daily,
Mm-hmm.
SCP-6373 will gain anomalous properties, primarily
how
limited
long?
sentience, mobility, and intelligence. Attempts to interact with objects outside of SCP-6373 events, see below, have failed. This event
What?
will not occur if SCP-6373 are contained in a location other than the Goffard Theater, located in Reading, Pennsylvania. Instead, they will remain inert objects.
Outside of the SCP, so they don't come to life if they're not in the building. I don't know why I said if they're not twice, but is that what that means? What's the SCP-6373 events? Does that mean that is it different?
SCP-6373 will then begin a rapid deterioration process involving slowly melting their papier-mâché bodies and emitting a stronger, more intensive odor as a result. This process continues until SCP-6373 are placed within a 12-meter vicinity of the Goffard Theater.
Oh,
When conditions for animation are sufficient, SCP-6373 proceed to the main stage of the theater to perform an act, classified as an SCP-6373 event. The
And that's
details of this
horrifying,
performance
right?
are fluid and ever-changing, and presently, no repeat performances have been observed. An audience of at least 1 individual must be present at the theater to observe the performance. Otherwise, SCP-6373 will undergo decomposition.
Okay.
SCP-6373 event summary and cast.
Please don't tell me the audience members unwillingly pulled into the performance and then killed.
Overview. An SCP-6373 event is a largely unorganized and spontaneous performance acted out by SCP-6373,
And these are just
featuring
4 paper
unorthodox
mache
attempts
puppets,
at
right?
humor, storytelling, and entertainment. Audience attempts to interact with SCP-6373 during a performance have resulted in injury. Performances do not have a set length, ranging from 2 minutes to 3 weeks.
3 weeks!
Descriptions of each puppet's physical appearance and typical role in an SCP-6373 event can be found below.
What happens if there's only one person and he has to leave to use the bathroom? Are they gonna kill him? Lasso him back, tie him to the chair, tell him to piss and shit his pants and keep watching? Dear God. I hope not.
SCP-6373-1 is an elderly male with a pointed nose and large eyes, clad in a beret, black sweater, and striped shirt.
So I think that's that one.
SCP-6373-1 is referred to as Pierre and serves as the performance's host and central character.
Okay.
SCP-6373-2 is a large, bald, disembodied head with sizable
Guessing
ears
that's you.
and an open-mouthed expression. SCP-6373-2 is referred to as Glutton and is incapable of speaking outside of deep, guttural moaning and single-word statements.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
SCP-6373-3 is a diminutive, disembodied head with closed, sunken eyes and a solemn expression.
Apparently not
It is noticeably
pictured.
smaller than the others, and its skin is painted a discolored gray. While the puppet features no limbs, much like Glutton, audiences have observed its strings being pulled during performances as if articulated joints were present. SCP-6373 is referred to as Ame. Though Ame does not typically speak or make noise, it will on occasion silently cry.
Oh, that's
Ame
terrible.
is the most frequent target of Pierre's verbal and physical abuse.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
SCP-6373-4 is a long-necked clown, wearing an outfit typical of such with white gloves. SCP-6373-4 is the only puppet with a hinged jaw, intended to be operated through the use of a string connected at the bottom of the mouth. This mechanism has since broken, rendering SCP-6373's jaw loose and uncontrollable. SCP-6373-4 is referred to as Jacques and serves as the group's comic relief. Jacques often reiterates the phrase, "Isn't that funny?" to punctuate its antics.
It's never funny, is it? I'm just gonna say.
6373-1. History and Performance Summaries.
Oh God.
The Goffard Theater was opened in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1860 by French.
I'm gonna say it right now. This is neutralized because the entire building burned down, isn't it? I'm just guessing right now.
French immigrant and entrepreneur Timothy Goffard. The theater was host to stage plays, musical performances, and in-house puppet shows that featured SCP-6373.
What's that?
The puppets were personally designed by Goffard, who maintained an intensive interest in puppeteering and often participated in the show's production. These shows were massively profitable and popular among Reading's children. It is unknown if SCP-6373 held any anomalous significance during the theater's operation.
Probably not.
Written evidence detailing payrolls of puppeteers and printed copies of scripts intended to be performed by SCP-6373 suggests they were ordinary puppets.
They probably became anomalous after the place shut
the theater
down.
closed due to embezzlement committed by Goffard's wife, Cynthia Cordier. Cordier's actions were presumably in retaliation to Goffard's unfaithfulness in their marriage. This resulted in a divorce and subsequent legal battle, which Goffard lost.
Oh damn. What would you say is worse, cheating or embezzlement? I don't know. I feel like embezzlement's a little bit worse.
In 1886, Goffard wrote a letter to his wife, a portion of which has been transcribed below.
Oh boy.
I write to you in poor health, and all joy sapped from my life. May misfortune follow you until the end of your days. I will not construct again that which I had spent 2 decades of my life working towards. I can only thank God's grace that the building has remained vacant, as I could not bear to see it owned by another man. I want to perform again and see the children smile. My happiness was so linked to theirs. 1 week later, Goffard disappeared.
Oh.
No evidence of his whereabouts were found.
Oh
The
boy.
letter remains his last known communication with another individual. Records indicate Cynthia Cordier would die of natural causes 4 months later. In 1887, the American Secure Containment Initiative discovered SCP-6373 during an inspection of the building. Anomalous effects were documented thereafter, and containment continued after the American Secure Containment Initiative had been assimilated into the SCP Foundation.
Okay.
A log of notable SCP-6373 performances have been recorded
That's
below.
interesting. So he just disappeared, and then they became anomalous. Did they eat him? Did he allow himself to be eaten by his puppets so they may be brought to life? God, that middle one in the fucking middle is just staring directly into my fucking soul. I don't like it. I wish I had some post-it notes to stamp onto my screen right now because of
Performance
that.
Summary 1887, 1022. First recorded performance.
Oh.
Lighting fixtures around the theater collectively
First
power on
recorded.
several minutes before the show, and a slight piano accompaniment originating from an unknown source is heard throughout the event. Pierre rescues a princess, a costumed Jacques, from a dragon played by Glauton. Researchers note several moments when an SCP-6373 instance has difficulty maintaining posture and moving, often taking multiple attempts to lift limbs. These moments increase in frequency over time.
As they get older.
Performance Summary 1895-0417.
Jeez.
Pierre and the other puppets take the roles of criminals recovering after a botched bank robbery attempt. As they attempt to figure out who alerted the police to their activities, they come to the conclusion that it was Aimee.
Of course
the
it
puppets
was.
spend the rest of the performance using the spherical Aimee as a ball in a game of soccer. It eventually devolves into a contest to see which puppet can kick Aimee the hardest.
Damn, they really
Pierre
hate
berates
Aimee's
Aimee
guts.
for betraying its trust and breaking the bond they had shared after years of working together. Examination of liquid secreted by Aimee puppet indicates chemical similarity to human tears. Performance Summary 1916-0229. The puppets reenact a scene on a farm, while the German-Russian conflict known as the Battle of Tannenberg is waged nearby. Glauton and Jacques take the role of a German and Russian soldier respectively, and act out a slapstick battle in a field. Sounds of war and human suffering are heard throughout. The subsequent scene inside the farmhouse features Pierre and Aimee as a husband and wife. Pierre laments that its crops have been destroyed due to the war and calls to Aimee for support. The puppets remain silent, even as Pierre's cries grow louder and more frantic as it shifts the blame of the crop's destruction from the war to Aimee itself. Pierre states that Aimee will never be let out again, presumably referring to the house.
And Pierre really hates Aimee.
Performance Summary 1922.
Has this been going on for over 100 years?
SCP-6373 perform a similar narrative as the first recorded SCP-6373 event. Audiences note each puppet sounds discontented in its delivery of dialogue. Movements do not sync up with dialogue, and instances move in frantic bursts, hanging limp when not speaking. The ending, where Pierre escapes with Jacques while Glauton flees, is altered. Instead, Pierre directly attacks Glauton with a plastic sword while berating the puppet for being useless. Glauton acts as if it were dead, and Pierre comments on its acting, stating, "That isn't what being dead feels like." Future SCP-6373 events are noticeably more dissonant and aggressive in tone.
Oh.
Performance Summary 1938-1104. First direct audience acknowledgement by SCP-6373.
Also, how many people are in the audience when all this is going on? Like, how many people are there? Is it all D-class personnel they got sitting in there watching all this? And possible slight horror. I really hate the fucking picture over here right now. He's just staring in my
Puppets
fucking soul, and I
engage in
hate
a
it.
comedic sketch involving dancing. Instances move in slow jerking motions while dialogue is quickly paced. Pierre becomes frustrated that the other puppets are unable to synchronize themselves and suspects they are being intentionally uncooperative. Pierre brandishes a prop hose and sprays water at the puppets. This removes paint from their bodies. High-pitched feminine screams are heard throughout the theater with no discernible point of origin. Pierre turns to the audience and states, "It's always the same kids out there." Performance ends with Pierre
Kids
hurling a
out
man
where?
into the crowd after it attempted to roll off stage. From this point on, Pierre speaks to the audience while performing, usually to seek approval before berating another puppet. All paint was restored by the next event. Future performances frequently feature Pierre accusing other puppets of malfeasance and taking physical action as a result.
Okay, Pierre's fucking losing it, that's for sure.
1952-01-11. Pierre performs a piano duet with Jacques, who is unable to be quiet or still. Though Jacques apologizes, Pierre repeatedly slams the puppet's head into the piano, denting it. When Pierre is finished, viewers note Jacques' jaw has detached completely. Jacques' laughter turns into pained cries as the puppet takes damage. Within minutes, viscous yellow fluid begins to seep from Jacques as it fails to reattach its jaw. Audience describe the liquid's odor as repugnant. Pierre retrieves Aimee and forces the puppet to sit in a puddle of the fluid. This event marks the beginning of a trend towards increasingly violent behavior.
This
While
is the
puppets
beginning?
sustain heavy damage as a result, they begin each performance fully restored. Notably, Jacques' jaw is never fixed, and the fluids continue to seep from the puppet.
Why is his jaw never fixed?
Performance.
How is everything else is, restored except his jaw? That doesn't make sense. Why would that be permanently damaged? I fucking for so much. I keep glancing at it. I don't want to glance at this picture, but it's in my periphery at all times. I fucking hate it.
Summary 1958, 03, 30. Shortest performance, 2 minutes in duration. Pierre is teaching an art class where each puppet is painting on a canvas. Glauton's canvas displays the words, open inside. When Pierre sees this, it becomes infuriated and ends the event, leading the puppets off stage. SCP-6373 instances disappear and are unable to be located. For the next 24 hours, an unidentified male voice swears and screams from behind the stage's curtain.
Is it the dude? Is it the God, what was his name? The owner of the theater that disappeared? It's his voice, isn't it?
Punctuated by bouts of loud banging and clattering. The source is not discerned. Lights remain powered on and centered on the stage. SCP-6373 re-emerged at 1800 hours the following day for a routine performance. Performance summary 1963-08-21. Pierre takes the stage and berates the audience for attending. Pierre asks if the audience is aware that in death, a soul can still wither. Pierre's voice changes to that of a woman's and delivers a eulogy in memory of Timothy Gofford. Later investigation revealed that a funeral was not held for Gofford. Performance summary 1971-06-06.
So is his... I was gonna say, is his soul inside of Pierre? But then the one before that, an unidentified male voice swears and screams from behind this stage's curtain. I feel that's Timothy Gofford. I don't know. Is he like... Is his like main... Okay. Is the main part of his soul in Pierre and it can come out to fix the other puppets? I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Performance is routine, involving a sketch where Pierre teaches Jacques how to play baseball using Aimee as the ball.
Of course,
Jacques is hesitant to hurt Aimee, but is pressured into doing so. All dialogue is delivered in a monotonous male voice as opposed to their ordinary intonations. There are frequent pauses and sighs in each puppet's delivery. This voice persists throughout all remaining SCP-6373 events. Movements during this performance are notably more loose and fluid than before. When an instance appears to have difficulty moving, it will strike itself, restoring fluid motion.
What the fuck?
Performance summary 1973-01-13. Puppets wear large papier-mâché facsimiles of human bodies and interact with each other in a sitcom household environment. Audience members report hearing a faint laugh track in the background,
Where did they
one
get
is
that?
not present in the recordings of the event. Over time, the suits begin to decompose.
Oh,
Layers
God.
of papier-mâché slough off to reveal loose viscera. Pierre frequently assaults Aimee with various household objects, and at one point causes the puppet to split in two after breaking it open with the corner of the table. Pierre encourages its two sons, Glauton and Jock, to belittle or berate Aimee throughout. Performance ends with Glauton pushing a cabinet of dinner plates on top of the half-destroyed Aimee.
Damn!
Examination of material left on stage following the event revealed it to be bovine in composition. Excess blood, fluid, and viscera remained on stage throughout later performances and began to rot. Removal was deemed impossible.
Bovine in
Performance
composition.
Summary 1976-07-02.
What's going on?
SCP-6373 does not take the stage. Instead, the event is projected onto the stage's curtains by shadows. Their source is unknown. All puppets take part in insulting Aimee, claiming that it is responsible for their current situation, and it is the sole reason they are unable to move forward. Pierre pries Aimee's eyes open with a pair of pliers. Jacques spews fluid onto Aimee, causing the puppet to scream. Pierre forces Glauton to consume and regurgitate Aimee. Aimee is beaten with shovels, drilled holes into with a power tool, and squeezed by a vise to the point of breaking entirely. Event lasts 4 hours uninterrupted. During this process, the Pierre puppet emerges from behind the curtain and attempts an ordinary performance of Jack and the Beanstalk, while the shadows of Jack and Glauton continue to beat Aimee. All researchers' attempts to open the Aimee puppet's eyelids have failed.
I'm fucking sorry, what? That was a little bit much. So, oh my god. All these different puppets have to represent different people, right? Aimee's gotta be like the wife, probably. Pierre's probably the main dude, Timothy, and who the other two could possibly be, I do not know, but Jesus Christ. Okay. So there's 4 hours of torture before a shitty rendition of Jack and the Beanstalk performed by one single puppet. Interesting. That's an interesting choice. Why he would attempt that, I do not know, but this is getting okay.
Performance Summary 1979-09-18. Puppets retell and reenact the story of Timothy Goffard's life, framing him as an individual who is treated unfairly by society and his circumstances. Performance concludes with Pierre stating that Timothy Goffard died alone, miserable, and never experiencing love. There is no mention of Cynthia Cordier throughout the performance. The puppet states that the Goffard Theater remains Timothy's lasting legacy and thanks the audience for their continued support. Pierre then flagellates itself to the point of knocking its head off its shoulders and releasing a mass of blowfly larvae from its neck.
What the
fuck? A feminine scream emerges from the hole. Larvae are unable to be removed from the stage, except when it is consumed by rats inhabiting the theater. Performance Summary 1979-09-18. SCP-6373 perform a retelling of Hansel and Gretel. All instances deteriorate considerably, seemingly without reason. Puppets have mobility issues throughout, sometimes repeating actions several times or falling to the ground. The performance is entirely silent until the final scene, where Pierre and Jacques toss a costumed Glauton into a mock oven. As the puppet burns, it states, "It cannot stay together anymore." All puppets collapse. Observation of the Goffard Theater later reveals that the structural integrity of the building is in jeopardy due to previously undiscovered infestation of termites and wood-decaying fungi in key construction areas.
Yeah, that would do it.
Performance
I think it's about
Summary
time,
1983-08-02. SCP-6373 instances hold a mock funeral for Aimee, and spend the rest of the performance exploiting various afterlives that the puppet may be delivered to, complete with props and costumes.
It's going to be a lot of torture in hell, isn't it?
Culturally insensitive when discussing non-Western afterlives. Event concludes with Jacques commenting on the excess of punitive afterlives, and that it's impossible to truly know which a person should believe in to achieve salvation. Pierre then states it knows the answer. We're all dead. This is the only afterlife there is. Puppets then go limp and remain in this state for a week, missing 7 performances. All future performances lack props and costumes, marking a decline in performance effort by SCP-6373.
I think that's just a
Performance
decline
summary
in whatever force is keeping them there.
18. Pierre tells nonsensical jokes which Jacques and Glauton laugh excessively at. Pierre then goes on a tirade about wanting to injure members of the audience while performing and then asks the crowd if they feel similar. Glauton admits that it fantasizes about wanting to break a child's arms every second it's alive. Pierre then asks the audience for a volunteer to demonstrate breaking an arm. The performance is silent for 46 minutes before researcher Lang volunteers herself.
I'm sorry,
Pierre
why would you do that?
Lang's arm at the elbow, fracturing her ulna. The puppet cites her resemblance to that as greatly increasing its enjoyment of the act.
Is that
the performance
Cynthia,
ends.
the wife?
Lang is reassigned to a different anomaly following treatment. Future performances infrequently include SCP-6373 committing acts of violence towards a member of the audience.
Oh, well, that's
performance summary
amazing.
1984.
You know, hearing that they're starting to attack the audience after all the, the 4-hour-long torture they did on that shadow puppet performance against Ame with beatings and drills and pliers and shit like that. You know, you really want that to start happening to the audience, don't you? Ooh. Definitely going to start using D-class personnel soon.
9/18. Last performance with discernible dialogue. Event is composed entirely of Pierre stating the full name, birth, and expiration date of every patron of the Gofford Theater from its opening to present.
What the fuck?
Members of the audience are included in this routine.
How does he know?
Throughout the act, Pierre's movements are awkward, and its speech is slow and slurred. Event concludes with Pierre looking to the ceiling stating, "You carry on so well," before violently throwing itself across the stage multiple times. Performance summary 1985-02-12. Performances have degraded to frenzies of self-harm carried out by each puppet. Stage lighting is absent or flickers. Musical accompaniment is discordant and cacophonous. Instances self-mutilate, flagellate, and flay themselves through the use of the stage floor's friction, each other, or blunt force trauma. Screams range from high-pitched feminine voices to deep male ones. Occasional laughter is heard during male screams.
That's not disturbing at all. What the fuck is happening?
1985-04-25.
Whatever force is controlling these puppets is just losing its fucking mind because it's been 100 years of doing this pretty much every day. So, yeah, it's losing it. Definitely losing it.
All puppets sit on the stage motionless, occasionally turning their heads to monologue to the audience in a nonsensical, indecipherable fashion. Several researchers claimed the puppets were directly gazing at them. All future dialogue and performances consist solely of moaning, grunting, screaming, and weeping, with extended periods of inactivity. Physical actions are often limited to standing or sitting. Performance summary 1985-05-13. Performance is entirely indecipherable.
It's really degrading, huh?
Summary 1985
all the way down to that drain.
09.
It's like the last couple cycles around the drain before it fully goes down.
Final performance.
Final performance.
SCP-6373 instances stand side by side for 18 minutes. No dialogue is heard. They collectively bow and fall to the ground. Stage lights and music cease. No further events occur. See addenda for details.
Huh.
Following the 1985-06-09 performance, all SCP-6373 instances began the deterioration process observed prior, shedding their papier-mâché exteriors. When this was complete, each instance was discovered to contain preserved human remains and
that's
organs,
wonderful.
which had been segmented cleanly at several termination points. All remains are presumably sourced from a single individual. Their contents have been listed below.
I am assuming it was all from Timothy. It's either him or the wife.
Pierre contained a brain. Jacques contained a heart. Glauton contained a conglomerate mass of excess organs, an unbroken layer of epidermal skin tissue, fecal matter, and hair.
That's a lot of shit.
Ame was empty.
Literally. Ame was empty? Damn, they really hated Ame.
Examination of unfolded skin tissue found within Glauton revealed a resemblance to person of interest 63732, Cynthia Cordier.
It was the wife,
Object
okay.
has been reclassified as neutralized.
So I was wrong. I thought the entire thing would burn down and take all these creepy ass puppets with it. No, they just, whatever force was keeping them there just kind of expired. So all these pieces were of Cynthia. Didn't say it came from the same person. Which had been something. All remains are presumably sourced from a single individual. Yeah. So if the skin inside Glauton was hers, oh jeez, does that mean old Timmy boy, disappeared from wherever he was, kind of found a second wind to chop up the ex-wife and stuff her inside these puppets and some kind of dark magic ritual bullshit and brings it all to life and continues to perform?
To person of interest 63732, Cynthia Cordier. Object has been reclassified as neutralized.
That's horrifying
I'm
as
just going
fuck.
to take this off the screen.
Yeah, thanks.
I hate puppets.
You just left it up there
This
for what?
concludes today's
23
lecture.
minutes.
Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are,
I am.
and you're all dismissed. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for taking that crap off.
I would like to give a special thank you to Zargaran.
Alright, I'm just gonna stop that here. Yeah, okay. When I saw like they look like puppets in the thumbnail, I was assuming some crazy shit was gonna go down. That was a lot more crazy than I had expected. Yeah. Yeah. Especially the whole 4 hours of torture part I was not expecting. Why? Is it because Ame was empty that they hated him so much? Because he was technically the only, I guess, pure, quote unquote, one who wasn't, what would you say, defiled by the remains of, the bitch they all hate, that Timmy Boy hated, and chopped up and apparently put inside of 3 out of 4 puppets. So I'm assuming that male voice that was heard at that one point, I don't remember how far back it is. I think after the painting one where it said open inside, yeah, right here. Open inside. What does that mean? Is that referring to how Ame has nothing inside of them? But yeah, an unidentified voice swears and screams from behind the stage's curtain. Which I'm assuming is... I just inhaled a drop of water, so... Might be... I'm assuming that voice was Timothy. Pierre had the brain. Jacques had the heart. And Glauton had pretty much everything else. Everything else. So why? But yeah, it's the unidentified male voice definitely has to be Timothy. His spirit's still there. I'm assuming his spirit is the one controlling all these puppets, kind of. Like, I don't know, but then what do the organs do? They give them life? But then Ame wouldn't be alive because that one's empty. I don't know. This one is really yeah, let's get back to the end here, just so I don't gotta look at that fucking picture still. But yeah, no, holy shit. Ooh, that is does make you think. Does make you think. Like it's apparently has the ex-wife's body parts within 3 out of 4 puppets. And I'm assuming because Ame didn't have any, that's why the other 3 kind of didn't really like him. And Pierre had the brain to think, so it had all the knowledge of what she had done, and thus really hated Ame for not having to be, what was the word I used? Defiled with the pieces of her, because I'm assuming, because these are the puppets that Timothy made, right? I think that's what it said. He made the puppets, so they probably really liked him. So yeah, um, that whole open inside thing though, is that asking them to open them to take out whatever's inside? I don't know. But dear God, I would feel better if they had burned those things. I hope they did. I really hope they did. I wonder why this was Keter class though. Isn't Keter isn't Keter class supposed to mean it's very, very difficult, if not near impossible to contain? But they seem to be relatively contained by themselves. They don't leave the building as long as nobody, you know, is allowed near the building. It should be fine. But then again, the building is probably in the middle of some town somewhere. But yeah, no, it seemed fairly well and easily contained. I don't know. I feel like it should have been Euclid instead of Keter. My mind says Keter is like is anomalies that have potential to destroy the entirety of the human population, if not the planet itself. And these puppets did not seem to have that ability, as far as I knew. They were just crazy. But yeah, no. Let me know what y'all think. Why there's ex-wife's body parts up in 3 of the puppets, who that voice was, etc., etc. Let me know your thoughts. Also, let me know some of your favorite SCPs, because if he's got a video on them, I'd like to check him out. So until next time, y'all, thanks for watching with me, and goodbye.